Hey guys, so today I'm going to run through a short tutorial on how to use SolidWorks. I'll have other videos going into more depth about the different features about this program. But to start off, we're going to open SolidWorks and click New Part. Okay, so you have this blank screen right now. So the best thing to do first is to select a plane. You can select the front plane, top plane, right plane. It doesn't matter too much. And then also I would recommend using a mouse with a scroll wheel. It's a little bit hard to navigate and rotate objects without it. If you have a laptop with a trackpad, you're just going to have a really hard time. My best recommendation is to get that mouse, and then if you click and hold the center wheel, you can rotate things really easily. You can also click on this axis to flip things about. All right, and so let's say if you start with the plane askew, you can right click on it and click normal to, and then now you'll be facing this plane straight on. So now let's start with a sketch. This is where you draw your first 2D object. And so you can do, for example, a circle. You click, and you click add for the radius. And so there's a number of things you can do at this point. One of the best features is using Smart Dimension. So you can click on that circle and you can adjust the diameter. So when you're working with something where you need specific part sizes, this comes in really handy. So let's just say 50 millimeters, just to show you how that works. And then you can also use Smart Dimensions you can define all sorts of things, relationships. You can make things specific sizes. You can lock things in relation to other objects. And you can set it so that you changing one object affects everything, where it's not just going to throw the whole design off. But again, that'll be something I get into later. So say we want to make a cylinder, click Feature, Extrude Base. And so now you can see it's going to make almost like a little coin shape. And you can do there's different settings for the direction it's coming off. And so when you have a more complex object, that'll come in handy. You can also do from sketch plane, from the surface, vertex, or offset. Again, those are tools that'll come in handy later. For now, I'm just going to do a basic kind of creation of an object. So we make that longer. Hit OK. Now I have this cylinder. Now let's say we want to make kind of a sleeve, maybe like a long kind of sleeve to go around a bolt. So we select a face. Now we do extrude cut. I'm sorry. Actually, let's back up. Let's click on this face. Let's draw another sketch with the circle just a little smaller. And now we go to Features, Extrude Cut. And now again, we can have it cut all the way through. So if you didn't want to go all the way through, you could adjust it using the blind section. So this will go about halfway through. Or if you don't want to have to manually type in the numbers, because it was just left on what I had previously set as the distance, you can go through all. Or if it's not just one object, you can click up to surface. And this is one I like to use a lot. It's very handy. And you can click on this other surface here, and it'll go up to that point. Hit check. And now we have this kind of sleeve. So there's a lot of other handy tools. There's linear patterns. There's you can add for the hole wizard. You can thread holes, and so in my experience, I've created a lot of 3D prints that have embedded hardware, so you can make those threads for different hardwares to screw into it, and you can also size it to different sized nuts if you want to embed it there. And like I said, there's just a lot of helpful tools. This was just a quick introduction to some of the basic functions. So this is a fidget spinner I made. It was one of the first projects that I did in SolidWorks. It's not too difficult. It's something I definitely encourage you all to try. making when you're first working with SolidWorks. It's pretty fun, nothing too technical, but it gets allows you to get the hang of working with the software. The trickiest thing about this, I would say, is this fidget spinner doesn't use a bearing in the center. It's just plastic on plastic, so it's not the best spinning spinner, but I'd like to show you the way that it all stays together. So select a plane, click this button, section view, and it allows you to look at a cross section of the object. So at the inside, you can kind of see the shape of the inner cylinder. It has this curvature so that it has this gap all the way around so that it allows it to spin but not fall out. So you see if this goes up or down, it's locked in place. So that's how I made the spinning component of it. So I just thought I'd show you that. And then when you're ready to print, or first of all save, you click save as, and then save it as a SolidWorks part, and then you can open it back up. If you're ready to print this out, save it as a .stl, and then I'll show you what to do next. So the 3D printer I use is a Prusa. This one is the mini. And so first of all, you're going to open up Prusa Slicer, File, Import STL, and then obviously I didn't size this correctly. So what you can do, if you have an object like this that isn't actually sized correctly, I didn't set the dimensions on this thing. This is one of the first objects that I made. So I would go to scale factors. It's at 100%. Maybe just type in 5 for everything. And okay, that might be a little too small. Maybe 10. That looks about right. And then you can rotate along the x-axis. I did click 270 to rotate it, and now it's on. That's how it's going to print on the 3D printer. And then you can click on the print settings. If there's something that's not too technical, I would pick a larger size. I'm sorry, this is the print, the layer height. And then we don't need any supports. We do infill 20. We don't need it to be fully dense, unless it's an object that actually has stresses that are being put on it. You could probably even do 10 or 15, even like 5, honestly. Click slice now, and so you can see how it's going to print. This is a really simple one. It's not too complicated. You can see first layer 3 minutes, total time is 25 minutes to print. And then you export G-code, you name it, and then you'll insert your SD card or USB drive into your computer, drag that on, and then print it from your 3D printer.